If you are a person who feel overwhelmed, stressed out, high pressure, and have peaks of anxiety, then I completely understand you. This is what I myself has gone through and overcome. So let me please help you in some great methods and techniques that you can deploy to calm your inner world, feel more harmonized and balanced, so you can take on the outside world that's happening around you. So first, let's just speak a little bit about what these triggers are, why you're becoming overwhelmed, why you're becoming stressed. Very likely they're well justified. Things outside of you are putting pressure on you and you need to deal with a lot. So number one, we need to come to the understanding that having an outside external pressure doesn't mean that we always have to meet it immediately. Very often, especially in a work environment, other people are putting pressure on us because they feel pressure. So they have deadlines to meet, and it's not very often that we actually ourselves need to adhere to their deadlines and pressure. Basically, what I'm saying is that when we are having high demands on ourselves, always take a moment to see, is this something that I actually have to deliver on in this very moment? The same thing if you take that in a social environment. There might be networking or you're meeting family and relatives. And the question then is, do I really have to be super sociable here, or can I take a step back and do it the way that I feel comfortable with? It is about creating space between your inner world and your immediate space and what is going on outside of yourself. In this way, you create like a security barrier where you have a moment to yourself, you have space to think and react, space to reflect. And when I say react, you react after reflection. So we don't become reactive without consciousness, without awareness. So learning the method of taking a pause and creating that space, and that space can become larger and more intimate, but there should always be some space between you and whatever is happening around you. This is a great technique to just go, let me take a moment, instead of jumping on that email, reply straight away, rushing into that meeting, or being on a high level, or immediately jump in and get stressed up and tense up, but instead relax and let go and have a think, do I really need to act on this immediately? Or can I take 5-10 minutes, 5 seconds, whatever it is, to just stop for a moment? If you don't feel this and everything is always constantly pushing on you, I would say that there is a need for higher level of organization and planning and vision. What I mean by that is that if we're constantly having things thrown at us, we do feel like we're out of control. If we feel out of control, we don't have the ability to stop and pause and look at the bigger picture. So the very first thing I do with my clients when I work as a coach is that we look at what is happening, what deadlines do you have, what do you need to prioritize, and we start putting everything down on a piece of paper, in a diary, in a calendar, however, in a planner, however it is. So we get that vision. Once we have vision, we get this sense of control. Now I see what I need to do. I see the steps to achieve that. I see that I'm out of time. And then you can start approaching it. How will I get more time? What should I say no to? What have I overreached here? Or, as in many cases, also you can go up to your manager and say, I run all of these projects and they're not fitting in time-wise. But you're coming from a sense of control, a sense of empowerment that I know what's going on. So that is a lot of times the very first step. Even if we have trying to get things under control, it doesn't work, we start there. How to get the vision, how to get the bigger picture, and then we can start creating this space. There's the 2 different methods, just depending on how overwhelmed you are. And this also applies in our regular day-to-day life. If we don't know our schedule for the day, we don't know how to get to work in a good time, we are always stressed about the traffic, then we need to come to a place where we understand how our day looks like, how our week looks like, how our month looks like, and ultimately how we want our life to look like. Many people don't have a life vision. They haven't sat down and go, how do I want my life to look like? other than comfortable or I want a lot of money. And these are way too vague to actually be implemented. The only thing that happens is that we become frustrated and annoyed that we don't have it, but we actually haven't put a clear plan to creating that vision. Another thing that we lack very often is that we haven't defined what a great life feels like. How do I feel when I feel accomplished and when I feel successful? How does that feel, and what does that include in my life? There's so many interesting parts of creating a life of your dreams to come into that place internally of balance and harmony. I would know I led a life of complete chaos, always just fighting right, left, and center for many, many years. And then I came into my true self, feeling connected again, and literally building a life of my dreams. So if you're interested, you can reach me at shantiaroundtheworld.com, and you can also follow and subscribe and make a comment if you like this content. Thank you very much.